Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the BreakEFX podcast, episode 5. Yes, we are live, episode 5. We are super excited. Thank you guys for tuning in. We are super blessed to have you guys with us. Short little introduction here. We are BreakEFX. What's up? We are here to do, well, these podcasts, what we're here to do is to just spread knowledge and our history here in Colorado. So all of our guests play a huge part in our history. They're pioneers. So yeah, I'm super excited to have our guest on today. How do you feel?
Really excited. Yes.
Oh
yes. We're bringing on the man, the legend himself, KO.
Kevin O'Keefe. Yes,
Nice.
y'all. Come on. We're going to get him on screen right here. What's up, KO? How's it going?
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
What's
How
that?
you doing?
How
Man,
you
you
doing?
looking good. I
Well,
love
how
that
you
hat,
doing?
man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I like your do-rag. Very nice.
Man, no, it's a shirt.
Oh, it's
it's
a
a-
shirt. Okay.
It's a shirt. You remember when we used to rock a shirt on the head?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Exactly.
All the time.
To keep the sweat out of my eyes. I know.
Yeah,
Totally.
just
Yeah.
represent that B-boy style. Well, welcome to the show, KO.
yes. How's your day going so far?
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Taking a break. Like I said, I've been teaching all week, so I'm kind of like just resting my body a little bit. But yeah, I can't complain.
Yeah.
Got
Super
got
excited.
some water.
Nice.
We got some Truly.
Not
Oh, cool.
sponsored, but
That
Not
energy
sponsored.
drink. Okay. All right.
Man, we are super excited. So we're gonna just dive right into this, man. Me and you have known each other a long time, so I'm excited to like even get to know you a little bit better during this conversation.
Mhm.
So we're gonna ask you a bunch of questions, and let's just have a nice chit chat about your history, man. So first and
Oh, very nice.
foremost,
Okay.
you are KO, man. That's your street name, yeah. Like that's like
Yes.
everyone. Yeah, that's what everyone knows you as KO. We don't be
Yeah,
like
KO. Kinda, yeah, KO. Actually, Larry Love gave me the name.
shout out Larry.
Play off of my initials, but it was kind of like short for knockout. It was kind of I think it had something to do with when we go to the club, I'd be the last one. It's last call, and I'm like, "What? We're done? Oh, now I feel like dancing," and everyone's leaving, and it was like, "Oh, we knocked it out," but everyone's tired and going home. So, but yeah, and then they might call me. Sometimes you might hear K Flow or K Flizzy. I think that's what Kenny called me at Motion Underground. But
yeah,
it's
I've heard-
just the play of KO is. I'm good with that.
Yeah, I've heard all those K flows. I've heard those too, man. You just
Right.
you're a legend, bro. You're a legend, man. So let's get into this, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What were you gonna say? Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say before that, when I was clubbing in Fort Collins, this is like in the early '90s. All my friends called me Chaka, which was a play off of that little a monkey guy off of A Land of the Lost, the TV show. I don't know what it was. It was because I just had sideburns or something, or long hair or whatever. But I was like, I always had some sort of nickname. I take it on. I got people that studios or companies I teach for, and they don't know me as Kevin. They know me as KO. So I'll get text messages and be like, KO, are you gonna show up? Or, we got this thing coming up, and I'm like, okay. But
I love
everyone's
it,
got
man.
a term or a name that kind of represents you.
Yep.
It's
And you are KO, sir.
Definitely some love.
Yes.
That's for sure.
Hey, so let's get right into this. I'm interested to ask this first question is, when did you first experience dance? Like, tell me the story of like first time you saw it, first thing you saw, first person. Like, what was the moment that
That's
you saw dance, and what was going on?
Well, I was I don't want to be long-winded, but I might be.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So I was born in Redwood City, California, the Bay Area. Moved here when I was 3, and every summer I go back to California, and I remember my sister's brother from another mother. However that works, it's a complicated situation, but he actually I spent like a week with him after I spent some time with my grandma, and then I remember going down and spending time with him in his neighborhood. And he was like, this is what's happening. It was like 1981. And he was all, listen to this. And I was like, what would you got some music? So we listened to the Fat Boys. And I just was like, I was taken by the music. Like that's what happened first, it was the music. And then Egyptian Lover, I think it was. And then yeah, exactly. I think I remember him showing me like a 6-step or a freeze. And then the whole week we'd just be hanging out with his friends, and we like at night we'd go to some guy's house, his friend's house, and they'd be practicing, and I'd be like, ooh, how do you do that? And that was the thing. And then, you know, I come back to Colorado, and it was kind of interesting how things were somewhat happening up north in Loveland, you know, and which I didn't expect. I thought maybe I'd be the only break dancer in Loveland because it was happening in Denver. But it just was interesting how it was happening in California. And then when I came to Colorado that same summer, I just wanted to practice. I think I remember watching breaking over and over again on loop and pretending I was Turbo. I even for Halloween dressed up like Turbo. But like we had school dances, and then we had this place called the McMillan Building, which was actually the fairgrounds in Loveland, and they just huge building, and it just was B-boys and B-girls from wall to wall. Wow. And I got hooked up with that and went there every Saturday night on top of every Friday night we'd be at the school dances. And I just remember being quiet and shy in 7th grade and having this moment, you know, that moment when you're like in a circle of people that are like talking about something you're not into, and you're like walk up late and you're like, what are you guys talking about? I literally did that. And then the DJ starts spinning a rocket. So then literally it kind of like the circle opened up, and then myself and the other B-boys from the school started just doing their thing. And then it kind of opened up from that, because it was kind of like this, you know, wow, I don't have to say a word and I can still communicate with people. And then afterwards, I ended up dancing with my first girlfriend. You know, it all came together almost all in one night.
Oh, yeah. The life of a B-boy.
Yeah, it was totally crazy. But and then we just, you know, we practiced every day at school and on the weekends, and met up at the McMillan Building. Then I think we had like a big battle at the McMillan Building, and that was when I saw like the Fort Collins City Breakers. Everything back then was like,
wait, what?
I'm just saying.
Oh wow.
82. This is like 82.
I was just gonna ask, when was this? 82, y'all.
So
yeah, 82, 83.
There was a
in Loveland, Colorado.
City Breakers.
Yeah, everything back then seemed to be Loveland City, Denver City. You know, and this is what I saw. I knew that you know, later I find out that, you know, the Denver Spin Masters were up in Denver, and then there was crews before that I can't remember, but they came through, and it was like just this big jam where everyone from I guess Denver, Fort Collins, all over Greeley, they had crews, and we just had this thing. But the thing is, everyone was popping as much as they were b-boying and b-girling. Yeah. So it was like everyone, we did like a showcase, and they didn't really have battles. They just had these showcases, but it was like every b-boy had a little popping set, and then had their breaking set. And then I remember there was the twin sisters. I know one of their names was Rachel. They were like the first that I saw seeing breaking choreography. Like they would do routines, and everyone was like, "Oh, the girls are here, the sisters are here," and they just be rocking it out. And then the following year, we had another competition at the same fairgrounds, and I think this is kind of when I decided I wanted breaking to go to the Olympics in my head, because this is 82. It didn't happen, obviously, but I was like, it's down. So yeah, I went back there and I showed up solo. I had like this Puma jumpsuit, blue and black, with the matching shoes and the fatty laces. And I remember a couple other dancers were kind of like, who's this guy showing up by himself? Well, we'll wait and see. And I was back there. The twins were there, and then there's this guy. Was it Troy Jackson was his name, and he was like, in Loveland, the one guy that could do a head spin and windmills and power. And he walks up to me and he's all, hey, you want to do this together? Let's do a duet. And I was like, really? Troy Jackson wants to dance with me? This is like the killer dude in Loveland. So we went out, and I remember I got photographs of it, and we took second place. And I remember he knocked, there was a banner across the wall, and he knocked it down doing his head spin. But I just felt really like lucky that Troy asked me. He just walked up to me and said, let's do this together. I was like, really? It's like if someone like, you know, Quick Step walks up to someone and says, hey, let's battle together. I'd be like, yeah. I was what, 12?
Wow.
13. So yeah, and then of course, like a year later, it in Loveland, it seemed like the bottom fell out, because I remember trying to dance at a school dance, and some ninth graders were, you know, telling me it was a trend and you should stop doing it, find another hobby.
Damn. Haters.
So I was like, no, I wasn't into that. But of course, as time, everyone that I was practicing with either went to high school or started skateboarding. So I found myself getting into skateboarding and did that for 11 years. I think it was, like, I got sponsored, all kinds of stuff, sponsored, but hip hop still followed me, you know, like the music. Cause I remember, you know, I had a half pipe at my parents' house, and we'd be listening to Public Enemy all the time. And then I was into NWA. And then what's funny is I found myself getting hooked on all the Bay Area hip hop, not knowing that it was from my hometown or my, you know, the areas. Well, it was Oakland. I lived in Redwood City. That's not Oakland, but yeah, you know what I mean? So I was just kind of like, wow, I've been thinking about that lately. Like, how did that, like, energetically, how did I get hooked on, you know, the same music that I came from the town that I was born in, or the you know, the city. But yeah, it was, and then it just kind of came full circle once I was done with skateboarding, because I got tired of wrecking my ankles. I would go clubbing at this place. You know about this place. It was called Fort Ram at the time, then later the Matrix. And it was
up in Fort Collins?
Yeah, you remember you and Ray came to the battle, because we set up a battle, and then you guys ended up winning it, which at the time made sense. Because I even was like, maybe,
I slightly remember this. I don't really remember, but yeah, wow, awesome.
Yeah, because the club owner said, because I was like the dancer at the club, and he was like, we need to get some more hip hop in here and breakers. So I organized a battle there, and then invited you guys up, because this ended up being about, you know, EOM days, and you guys went up there and destroyed it. And I always remember going like, wow, I figure they probably are gonna do really well, because it's Fort Collins and the scene's still growing. But I didn't really think about, like, they were just gonna, like, take it. But that's what happened. So, and actually what's funny is, even at Fort Ram, because this space was huge, I had another friend that actually invited Flex. You guys remember Flex? Yeah, from the spot, right?
From our
yeah,
scenario?
okay, our scenario, yeah. But he came up with the crew, because a friend of mine was like, I got some breaker friends, I'm gonna bring them up to Fort Ram and you guys can jam. And that was once again the same scenario. I was like, ooh, our scenario's here. And sure enough, they were like, I was like, oh, I'm not doing that. I gotta practice. You know what I mean? So yeah, but it was interesting because then years later, when Millennium 2000 started, we started going up to the spot, and I noticed that Flex and and then Lord's Finesse was up there with I met Mars for the first time, and yeah, because Jules was Jules was in Millennium. Lady Jules was in. Props to Lady Jules.
Yeah, props to Jules, man. Beef freaks, yeah.
But yeah, she came up. She was training up there and brought us all up there, and we were yeah, that was a lot of fun. That place, it's still around, right?
What, the spot?
Yeah.
It's around. It's not the same. I haven't been in there in years. When Dave Stalls was the original owner, I know that he had switched owners and they kind of switched things. So
Okay.
I don't know. I think it's there for a different purpose.
Right.
But
Okay.
it's still around. It's more for an educational place for kids to go to get their GED and stuff like that.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
It's still there. But yeah, man. Do me a favor. Can we go back and talk about Millennium? Talk about how you got into there, and just all the people that you met through there and stuff. Because I think that plays a huge part in the history. I think that place and all you people that have came from there. Like you said, Jules. Yeah. You guys all came from there, and I'm interested on like how you met and how you ended up at Millennium.
Oh, well, I actually I was in Fort Collins, and someone asked me to perform in freestyle in their MFA at CSU. Okay. And that was my first dose of like being on stage and backstage, and that's what made me fall in love with being on stage, basically.
Oh, okay.
And then did the show, and then they handed out these flyers for this like first ever professional hip hop company in the state of Colorado, which was called Millennium 2000. And they rehearsed in Boulder at Dance West. And so me and my friend Sarah, who I don't think dances anymore, but we just carpooled up there and auditioned. And I just remember it's folklore because it's hilarious. And yeah, Epi could tell you the story, Toby, but no, it's like, I remember sitting watching KJ doing choreography, but I thought it was freestyle. I was like, oh, I can do that. I can match that. And then I get in there and I'm like, what, to counts? Why can't I just freestyle? So and that's the thing is I was like two left feet. What is this all about? And then he said, now freestyle. So then I started breaking, and then that's what kind of got me the gig. And then, it was Alexa, Lady Jules. And at the time it was just Jules. And then there was Sarah, and then Lynn. And I'm forgetting some people. It was so long ago, but they were, and it was just kind of like, that first bout at being on stage. So we just rehearsed twice a week and just really kind of like trained and came up with a show, which was called Hip Hop Street Circus.
Okay.
So, and then we did photo shoots and all kinds of stuff. Yeah. I remember taking the photo shoot, and I think Kenny said something about put a hat on KO's head because the light is glaring off his bald head. So I'm laughing about it because at that time I was like, what? But now it's hilarious, you know what I mean? So I put the hat on, took the photo. I think it was actually a t-shirt.
Yeah.
So I might actually have the picture right here. So, and then we ended up doing another show called In the Mix, which was at the Fox Theater, and we danced on carpet. That was whatever. It was what it was.
Good old carpet.
Good old carpet.
Yeah, good old carpet.
Carpet burns.
Never fails.
But no, it was definitely a huge learning curve for me because I was learning how to count.
Yeah.
I was learning how to teach, and that's what that millennium, and then later with the original Motion Underground company, because it was a company before it was a studio. That was this huge learning curve where we just constantly trained, and then I constantly took classes and tried to learn how to count and teach. Oh shoot, I can't find it. I do. Wow, there's a picture.
It's gonna pull out all the pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I got a little booklet. So
the whole millennium experience.
oh yeah, here it is.
Is just wild to me, man. Let's see. Oh,
Flyer. So yeah, but that was 97.
Ooh, 97.
1997. And
Wow,
then
that whole millennium experience, like I said, wow, that's crazy because that actually like it kicked off a lot of stuff from there on out. You guys really did.
yeah, for Boulder, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of people don't know that. That's why I kind of wanted you to touch base on that. A lot of people don't understand, especially in the hip hop community, where I would say like you guys brought that the choreo aspect out, like no one else was really doing it then.
Well, I do remember Kenny inviting Ray to with his group. I forget the name of his first crew.
Was it
Like
BAK?
What?
Was it BAK?
I think so. Yeah, it was like him and his kids, basically. Yeah. Yeah, that was hype. He came through and started rehearsing with us, and then he did a little piece that opened the show. And what's interesting when I say that, I was like, that opened the door for all of us to later meet up as EOM on some levels, because you knew Ray back then, right?
Yeah. I had just met him. Like,
Okay.
I was in a different space.
Right. Yeah. So, but and after that, Jules and Alexa left, and they started working with Rennie Harris Pure Movement, and then that's what they just packed up and moved to New York. Yeah, they rolled out. But the thing is, then later, Jules is got extra training and became a member of Rocksteady. And then I think Alexa was working with Buddha Stretch for a minute. And then I do remember going to a Pure Movement show at CU that changed all of us, because they just like, it was like you're seeing another way of looking at it, and it just like flipped us all out, because they were like training. Yeah. And we were just constantly talking about like, oh, we got to step it up, right?
Gotta step it up.
which and it would, to my understanding, or at least what I saw, is that's when we left Dance West, and that's when Motion Underground was the inception of Motion Underground as the company. And then the training aspect and the amount of work we started doing just to be better was 20 times. Like we just did a lot more just to keep up with the masses, or just like be creative.
Yeah.
So, and Kenny had a lot to do, because it was his company, and he actually just had that vision to actually take it to that spot. Yeah, that was Motion Underground. Wow. Company. This is all before the studio, you know what I mean?
Okay, and see, now you're like even schooling me right now. Like I didn't know Motion Underground was a company before it was a dance studio. Like, well, I thought it was just a dance studio, and then they made companies later on.
No, it was this. I remember sitting in KJ's house and going, Yeah, he's coming up with the company name, and we're like playing with names, and he's got like motion, and me being like artsy, I'm like, it's got to be something really like abstract, like underground, and we're just playing back and forth, and then eventually he, sat with Motion Underground, and and then a lot of the core dancers were like, they helped put it together, A oh man, I forget everyone's names, but there was a lot of people that were involved in like getting that started. And then we rehearsed out of the Steel Building across the street from the Motion Underground original facility on Belmont in Boulder.
Yep.
Yeah. So we did like the Blue Show, and then we did a couple other shows. We did the Erotica Ball.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
what is that? No. What is that?
That's the thing is there was a lot of shows, but it was kind of like you do all kinds of stuff. You guys know, like there's work that you do that kind of like pays the dues to get to where you really want to be,
Yep.
Yeah, and the Erotica Ball to me felt like that, but it was fun because it was quite an experience. you're like I got my leather pants on. I'm trying to do a 6-step in some leather pants.
No.
Hey, I can't 6-step in these things. Wow,
it was a lot.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, that. I mean, yeah, you're totally schooling us on that history aspect. Yeah, man, just go ahead and keep going. You're just like leading the conversation. Like, keep going, bro. Like, I mean, that's what we were doing. Is just I want to go through your history. Like
okay.
After
Yeah,
Motion, what was that experience like?
Oh, the studio?
Yeah, well, no, just the company. Like, cause I don't really know about the Motion company. Like, that's really dope. Like, I had seen footage of, I think was it Blue 2 that you guys did? Is that what you were saying?
I wasn't in Blue 2. I was just in the first one.
Okay, you're in the first one. But wasn't that a pretty deep show, like the concept of it or something?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
Well, talk about like maybe, because I think that was, to me, that was what was game changer, was what you guys were doing back then, was you guys really, the concept and the storytelling and stuff. Like, what were some of the concepts of the piece in Blue?
Yeah, well, it was I mean, it was Millennium had some theatrical values to it, and then of course Blue did as well, but Blue was like talking about some serious topics, and I remember, I think I played a drug addict, I think something like that, and then we had a couple of the Motion kids, well, adults now.
Yeah.
We had teenage pregnancy and some of those topics, and then the show we performed at the Steel Building because it was like a big theater, and it got a good run. I always like to have fun because I remember the Broncos were in the Super Bowl playing the Packers, right? And KJ is a Raiders fan. Now this is just my, and he was like, I can't change the date of the show. I didn't know the Broncos were going to go to the Super Bowl, so we're still doing the show. But all of us were like in backstage with the TV going, oh, the Broncos are winning. Okay, back on stage. Costume change. Go again. Who's winning?
Wow.
It was funny. I think yeah, because it was just the show was scheduled long before the playoffs even started.
Oh man!
But it was just funny because you're like, I'm trying.
No
to
one's in the crowd. They're all watching the Super Bowl.
Yeah, like you're late for your cue. Well, the Broncos just scored. You know they did? I don't know.
Wow. No, that's crazy. I remember hearing about that show, and you guys, I seen some footage of it. It just like you're talking about, the topics of conversation was really serious in that show, and like, there it's, like it was just so serious like that.
Mm-hmm.
You guys were really ahead of the game. People have now recently started getting into the serious stuff later in the days, you know, like choreography that is like that when you guys, you know, really were the forefront of it, you know?
Yeah, because the storylines were just I guess needed to be talked about. And what's funny and also, I don't know, sometimes frustrating is the fact that we're still talking about those topics today. You know what I mean? But that also means that there's plenty more stories to be told by, you know, plenty of artists like yourselves and myself and, you know, everyone that, you know, that's out there. I know, you know, to fast forward to, you know, working with Rennie Harris Grassroots Project, it was kind of came full circle because I'm working with someone with Rennie that has been doing it for 30 years, doing those type of topics. And I'm doing it again, and I'm understanding that, you know, it's also very important still to this day. And I think sometimes some of those shows like the Blue Show and stuff kind of aided me in preparing for that process.
Yeah.
Because Rennie doesn't play with his process. It's amazing. It changed my life, you know, just like EOM changed my life and all that stuff. But it's just funny how it kind of came full circle and we're doing these serious topics. And I seem to fall into the category of playing characters that are total jerks, which is okay. It's okay with me because I love to act. I love to like play a character.
Yeah.
I mean, we were performing in Aspen Grassroots, and I'm playing an abusive boyfriend in the show, and this lady comes up and she's like going, "Oh yeah, I really, you know, like to the other dancers. I like your character. What's wrong with your character? I didn't really like your character at all." And then, you know, props to Millie and I think DeAndre, and they were like, he's really a nice guy. That's just a character. And then she says, "Yeah, whatever," and then walked away.
Damn.
But that's the thing is it's like you know, you put all of it into that work. It should, you know, and it's honest. It's gonna show up.
Yeah, you're a good actor. Where your character went off stage.
Yeah, I did. I went off stage. Yeah, and then I came back. Yeah, it was, you know, and you know, I'm still associated with Rennie Harris Grassroots Project. Of course, the pandemic kind of changed some of our rehearsal schedules, and who knows what's going to happen in the future. But yeah, I tend to lean towards that theatrical side because of that history with Millennium and Motion Underground, and now Grassroots.
Yeah, let's keep talking, man. Let's keep going from, you know, the motion shows and where'd you go in life from, you know, like from where were we at? Blue. We're talking about Blue, the Blue show. So what happened with you and everything after that? Where, you know, where were you going? What was next?
Oh, I actually started teaching a bunch. Like I was teaching like 20 classes a week.
What?
Driving, yeah, at least 20. One day, I think 1 week I was teaching 25 for like a month.
Where were you teaching?
I was at Dance West. I was in Fort Collins at Weston Arts Academy. I went to Greeley for a bit. I drove up to Conifer. I just basically enjoyed working with different groups of students because there was something about you know, the movement that I later started feeling like I needed to, you know, you needed to spread it out instead of just, you know, I was just willing to drive to places basically.
Yeah.
You know, of course that's a work thing, but it kind of, because I still keep in touch with some of my students like in Conifer and, you know, all those places. So yeah.
Yeah, you're a teaching maniac, huh?
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was. I know Yeah, and but on top of that, we were still, I think at that point we were doing EOM.
Okay.
I think that was around EOM times, and then I was doing, I did have some I was doing cross training with the Funkinetic project, and then I also was doing 3 months out of the year I'd rehearse with True2Form. So at one point I was like dancing 7 days a week for a good year or two.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I remember the EON days with you. That was some fun stuff. We did a lot of fun projects together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's great. So after Blue, you started teaching a lot, and then ended up being the EOM days, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it was I was living with Larry.
Yeah, I remember
Kenny.
that.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, that was like the spot. And then Kenny called me and was like, "Well, I got this ensemble putting together, and I think you should do it." Because he said something like, you're not going to be performing forever. You can teach as long as you want, but you should perform.
Yeah.
And then EOM to me, like that's still family. It's really weird. I mean, who would have thought? We did like a bunch of shows. We went to Louisiana, and then we did the San Francisco Hip Hop Fest.
Yep.
And but I think the bonding time was some of my favorite times, because I still keep in touch with you and Troy and Jared.
Yeah.
The list goes.
Yeah, that was a really special time, even for me, bro. Like, I mean, that's how our connection got really bonded together, was because of that EOM time. And that EOM group, like, was really special because everyone was different in their own way. They had very different styles in their own way. And I gotta like really commend you and sticking to who you were at that time and the dancer who you were, because you were realizing this, at the moment I didn't realize this, but realizing this now, you were way ahead of your time. Like, you had the style, you were doing a lot of footwork, you had a lot of, like, it was b-boy style. You had that, and we were all tricking and flying around, and and it's like you really stuck to your guns and was like, no, this is who I am, this is my style, this is how I dance. And I totally respect that, man. Like, you, in my eyes, you were ahead of your time, because now everyone's all about style and footwork and the b-boy look and the aspect. When we were training together, you were doing that the whole time. We were just like, and that's what was dope about that whole EOM crew, is like, you had a style that was you had that original b-boy footwork style, man. It was crazy.
Very
technical. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
No, one of my most memorable moments was when you came up to me and said what you just said at Rockers Rumble. Because it's, you like stick to you. You guys all know, like, when you stick to you, you're always going to run up against a wall artistically, because someone's going to be like, well, I just tried it. And that's because they're trying to help. But then there's that moment where you just, you stick to what you're good at, and then it starts reaching out. And I would have never, when you said what you said, and then I think Ray said something to me too, and I just was like, oh, that's really nice, because I looked up to you guys in the same manner because of the tricks and the power. Because there was parts of me that was like, I don't know if physically I could do this. That's really what it was. And then you'd come at me, you'd be like, come on, dude, jump in the circle, let's see a head spin, come on, try it. But I remember back at Dance West, I used to hurt myself all the time trying it. So part of me was kind of like, I enjoy the music and how the footwork works with the music, what I hear. And that's kind of how I stuck to it. And, I also felt like body wise, I'm, because I'm still moving around, and sometimes if I did spend a lot of time with power, I feel like I might not be dancing as much right now. Just the way my body reacts. Maybe it's all those injuries from skateboarding. But no, that's why, like, teaching, you know, when I was teaching, I found myself directing people to you guys, or even because I know Dougie Styles and Ian, when they were taking my class back in it was the Motion Underground Company days.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
Oh, well, when I was performing with the Motion Underground Company, that's when Doug and Ian and I was teaching a breaking class at Dance West, or a foundation breaking class, and then I was teaching it. Was it Dance for Space or something in Boulder?
Wow.
So I was doing that. That's around that time, and then that's actually to tie in what you talked about with Adam last week. That was when Rich and them started coming through my class and stuff. And
tell me about that. I'm interested to know, like, how you met Ian, and like, I didn't know Ian and Doug were taking your class, like, and Adam and them. If you can, I know we're kind of like, I'm trying to like guide this a little bit, but yeah, tell me a little bit about that. You know, how you met them guys, because they look up to you a lot, man. I know they do. You know, they've spoken highly of you. But just tell me a little bit, like, Ian and them, they took your class. Like, I'm so like, wow, that's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, Ian came to Dance West to my Friday night breaking class, and then Doug was kind of already there because he took the one at the Cake Studio. I think, yeah, it was Cake Studio.
Yeah.
And then he followed me to Dance West and joined Counterculture, which is my kids, well, older kids group. And Doug just came in, and I was like, yeah, you be a guest artist. And he ended up staying there for 2 years. So, and he was just, you know, and just doing his thing. I always used him as like the B-boy in the choreography. And then they'd stay for class on Friday nights. And then that's when they put together kind of a crew with the three of us, or there was four of us, if I remember right, called Natural Flavors.
Oh.
And that was just basically just kind of like friends, you know. It was Ian and Doug put it together, and then they just brought me along because I was always at the teaching. They're like, we might as well put the teacher down or something like that.
Natural Flavors, huh?
Yeah, it was called Natural Flavors. I didn't come up with the name.
Friendships.
They are. Yeah, but yeah, and during those times of teaching there, that was when Rich and Caleb would come through class.
Yeah.
And then I was in doubt. Oh man, I'm going all over the place, guys. But
no, that's the perfect segue, right?
Yeah.
Because then that's when Rich and Affiliated, right? And
yeah, because that was when I was training with Quick Step.
Whoa,
that was when, you know, yeah, that was because Quick would do workshops. Quick and Rock would come to Dance West and do workshops, and then me and DeAndre would take privates with them. And I remember Quick showed me how to do an Apache. Changed my life again.
Yeah.
And then he showed me how to wrist roll, like we were working on locking. And I remember he came up to me and he'd grab my wrist and he'd be like, like whipping it. Yeah. but he would come back every year and we just, you know, work. And then he invited me and DeAndre to perform at this show that they had at the Boulder Theater. And then that's actually what led to the conversation that night after the show, where Quick invited me to go train in New York.
Wow.
But I was also performing with Motion Underground.
Yeah.
So,
dude, you were doing a lot. Wow. Holy crap, dude.
That's why it's like, oh my God, where's it going?
No, because you were really everywhere. Because I mean, okay, so in the midst of all this performing and all this stuff, you were still teaching 20 classes a week, you know? Like,
you were busy.
Maybe I might be exaggerating. Maybe it was 15.
I could say that because I was easily teaching like in my prime, like a good 15 classes a week, you know?
Yeah.
But I wasn't as busy as you guys. Like, holy crap, dude. Yeah, you're everywhere. You got ties with everyone. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's weird, you know. I mean, and then there's people that I haven't really spent much time with that I wish I had, like Fiends, for instance. You know, I know a he's what the LOF king, but the thing is I didn't really like connect with him much. I connected more with Mars, because LOF would train at Dance West, because Quick Step was teaching there during the summer, and then they started coming up. So I'd actually be like hanging out with LOF occasionally for 40 minutes, just training, and trading ideas.
Wow.
So
Wow,
yeah. But I didn't actually really back then talk to Fiends much. I spent more time talking to Mars. But yeah.
How exciting, man. Yeah, that's crazy. So EOM days, and then let's see, let's talk about True to Form, can we? I would love to talk about True to Form. You guys,
I need to take a break.
You guys did a good job, man. Like, you did a good job with them kids. I call them kids. Still,
we all were then.
But talk to me about True to Form. When was it created? How? Who? What was the idea? Like, because I just would love to hear the story.
I actually prepped for this one.
Yeah.
Well, so I was at Dance West teaching, and I had an assistant that was assisting me with one of the kids groups. And this is around the time when Motion Underground, the studio, was going to open. And the word was, because it took a few months for the word to get out. So people were like speculating, like, is it happening? It's going to be hype, and it was going to be hype. But the thing is, he would come to me and say, like, hey, I want to, is Motion going to open soon? I'd be like, I don't know. I'll keep you in, I'll let you know when I find out. But I never found out. So he kept asking me. And then one day he finally was kind of like, because he was in a different space. So he finally was like, I'd rather be doing what they're doing than what I'm helping you doing, with. Because I was doing original styles of hip hop with the kids. And he wanted to go more, this is when Britney Spears and all that stuff was happening.
Their little urban movement or whatever.
Ew. Okay.
I know exactly.
We got to change that. That's out. That word is out now.
Out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Write it down.
I know. We wanted that like that.
Forehead.
I don't even know what we called that style back then, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So that was a thing, and I was middle of just listening and learning and training with Quick Step, and him giving me this. He told me this story once about if we don't perfect specific art forms, like they're popping, locking, perfect it before you teach it. Because if we don't, we might find ourselves dancing on cardboard again. He told me this like years ago when I first started training with him, and it stuck with me. So it was like, I'm going to stick to what I've always, I love this stuff. So I'm going to keep teaching it like this. And I don't care who disagrees. But like, I finally, after my assistant said, hey, I can't do this anymore, I was like, fine, okay, whatever. I was a little hurt, but next day I came back and I started playing with this idea, like keeping it real, true to form.
Yeah.
And then it became a ensemble. And then our first couple of gigs we started doing the Creek Fest, like for 5 years straight.
Wow. Who are some original members of True to Form?
Well, the first ensemble was my students from the adult class. So they were all women in their 30s. And we did a locking piece at the Creek Fest. And then shortly after that, I started kind of like inviting people in, or they'd show up, or you know, Doug would mention someone, and then they'd come through, and then we just rehearsed to get ready for the Creek Fest for like 5 years.
Nice.
So it was like we'd go our separate ways and then meet up and rehearse and perform once and then go our separate ways.
Check it out, Boulder Creek Fest.
Yeah. We might have done the New West Fest a couple times too, which is in Fort Collins. And then I don't know, I think I got connected to the original ensemble, which I kind of met mostly in Longmont. Toby.
Yeah.
Calling you out, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was like Longmont. I had like, you know, Wendy, Amy, Poppin' Agenda.
Woo. Yeah.
And, you know, RIP on Poppin' Agenda. He
rest
actually,
Yes.
he actually took my class in Dance West when he was like 10.
Ooh.
So he's been my student since then. So he was an original member. And then there was Megan, Tina, Kelly Kelly B, Kelly M. I'm not giving last names. The two Matts. Well, actually, Matt and Momo, and then Rascal Randy, Bree, Sky. Yeah, because Randy came in. She was taking classes up at CU and came in with Tina, and I put her down, and then she was in the company for the next 3 years. And then Bree was, I met in Longmont with Matt, and Bree actually moved to New York and at one point became a mastermind.
Wow.
Yeah, she was training with them for a while.
Dang.
And then Momo, I know Adam and Elise did some work with us.
Woo.
And then I had, the original ensemble was pretty deep.
Yeah, it was. Holy shit.
Yeah, I didn't realize.
But once that came together, we put together a photo shoot, and then we ended up doing our first full-length show, which is called The Art Gallery. And most of our shows have footage on YouTube. They're not the best because it was done in the 90s. And if you watch one of the videos with Uprooted Funk, if you watch one of the videos, there's a funny part and you can hear Epi laughing.
Oh my.
You recognize that laugh, just watch.
Anywhere.
What can they look under on YouTube to find this footage?
Yeah.
No, I just want to watch some people, if they want to watch your guys' show, what can we direct them to on YouTube?
We did 4 productions. So the first one's the Art Gallery, which is not on YouTube. There's no footage of that. Sorry. But Uprooted Funk, which was our second piece, and then Hip Hop Etc. I think that's the one where you're screaming or laughing. And then we had and then there's like a section from our We Are T2F, our last show that was that's on, but a lot of that footage is lost. But most of Uprooted Funk and Hip Hop Etc. are on there.
Awesome. Yeah, we're gonna have to go check it out. I gotta go. I love going down memory lane and watching old footage.
Yeah. Well, we had like Art Gallery, Sarah Vaughn was in the show.
Ooh, yeah.
Uprooted Funk, I had Larry Love was in it.
Yeah.
And then of course We Are T2F, T-Roy was in that. He did a amazing solo. And then I had like Christina, and then Adam and Elise, and then Street Styles and Affiliated were always invited to like be in the showcases to like open the show and all this. Cause it's because that's I guess my crew. Is that how it's supposed to work?
Yeah, that's your
Like,
boy.
Your
Shit.
crew. Because that's the hardest thing is like you put put an event together, and it's like you guys do a jam and people will come, but like you put a show together, and there's only so many people you can invite unless you want to rent the theater for the next 5 days.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, that's why like remember the hip hop festival and the Denver Dance Festival. That was like the one moment that we were all able to like get everyone in the mix because it was a 2-day event. Yeah. So
Too many of us.
that was good though, right?
Yeah. That was.
That was BreakEFX was balling at that point.
Man, wow, man, I didn't even realize, like, yeah, you have a lot of heavy hitters on your squad, man, on True2Form. That are, you know, like Randy, you know, she's still doing her thing, dude. You know, she's,
Mm-hmm.
you know, her history is here, and that's just amazing, you know, to know that.
Randy is it's funny because Randy is just like she's a gem.
Yeah.
I know I was able to, I had the privilege of, working with, Chris Martin at one point when he was 6. I have footage of him doing a chair freeze when he was like 5 at Dance West. I don't know where it is, but I don't know if he knows that, but and then his sister too was actually in counterculture at Dance West. And we all know what she's up to these days, Marielle.
Yeah.
That's
wow. Yeah, man. We've got a lot of history with a lot of people. I've heard it from multiple people. It's crazy.
well,
but yeah, man. True2Form, man. That I really loved what you guys did there, man. That was, you know, we had you guys in our Slang and Joy show.
yes.
Yeah, we just watched that footage.
Footage.
Oh, you have the footage?
Yeah.
I have the flyer in my
yeah.
car. I still have the flyer.
Yeah.
This is a flyer. I mean, like,
awesome.
and I remember the show. Never mind.
Go ahead. Good. What were you gonna say?
No, you go.
And I was gonna say, after True2Form, where'd you go? What happened after True2Form?
Well, True2Form was, if you do the timeline from when we did the Creek Fest to we were together, that ensemble, preferably, Wendy, Amy, Noah, Megan, all them, till like 2010. So we were like a good 10 years.
Whoa.
And then it became a coffee talk with the girls came to me and says, we need a break. Yeah. And I was all, I think it's a good time to take a break as well.
It's been about 10 years. Yeah, we should take a break.
Long
yeah, it's been 10.
Oh, it happens, man. I think Adam was talking about that. He was just like, talking about different b-boy careers, different phases of your dance career.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, we did it too, it's like time. Oh, got time to take a break,
Right.
Wow, yeah. 10 years? Holy.
It had to be. I mean, you had 4 years of just during the summer and then go our separate ways. But when we did the full-length shows, we had I had the opened account. We had t-shirts and
Oh yeah. Oh, see, look, I love this. Look at this guy. Yeah. See, that's what I remember right there. Yeah.
But here's the thing, like there's after True2Form disbanded, that Pop-An Agenda would be seen everywhere at battles wearing True2Form t-shirts.
Yep.
And he kept, and I'm like, I've moved on. I'm trying to think something different right now. And he's like, no, this is family. But I was like, yeah, okay.
For life.
Yeah. La primera
like Popper's Picnic in LA, and he's rocking the t-shirt.
Yeah.
I just was like, wow.
He loved you. That he had so much love for you, man, in what you guys did. And that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, you guys were a family, like you guys, I always saw you guys like, you guys may have seen yourselves as like a dance ensemble or a company or whatever, but we always seen you guys as like, damn, they look at their little family, they're tight, like they're bonded, and Papa
Yeah.
Agenda, he loved you, man. Shit,
Yeah,
he loved what you guys did. That's why he had that heart for you.
Yeah, he stuck it out, but he was a beast. It was like I think on some levels I look back on, I was like some things he was doing and some of the stuff he'd be doing now, because he'd be at all those protests. He was that guy. So, like he actually was really strong-willed, and I think sometimes that was where some people had a disconnect with him, because he just had a lot of what's the word, gumption, or I'm trying to use big words.
Ooh, use them.
You know what I mean? Like he had a lot going on.
Yeah.
But he also had some other, he had to go through some things too. So
yeah, he had a lot of heart for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, it was True to Form.
Yeah, True to Form, man. Yeah, shout out to True to Form members.
Yes.
If you're watching or when you do watch this, shout out to y'all. You guys represented hard.
I'll let them know. Yeah.
I'll let them know. You still talk to them?
I do. I still talk to Wendy. It's Facebook, but Megan, I keep in touch with.
That's awesome.
I keep in touch with Noah's mom.
Good. That's awesome, man. That's so cool.
Tina's funny because she's like a producer in LA now for a TV show.
Oh wow. So
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, but and then yeah. Oh, I definitely keep in touch. Bree is she comes to town and we go have coffee. And then last year I met her fiance. So that you're right. It feels like family, because after the company disbanded, every year we had a dinner.
Nice.
But you're right, Epi. It's like you need breaks from certain groups and certain situations to reassess, because if you I might have burned myself out more than I wanted to, teaching and dancing 7 days a week. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Then it becomes a job and not like stuff I really love to do.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's yeah.
So after you guys disbanded or whatever, what did you start doing?
I just started teaching. I was just teaching.
You've been trucking along on this teaching journey.
Non-stop.
To this day, teaching this week, bro.
Yeah, it's yeah, and I'm trying to think. Yeah, it was a good just teaching and I did some workshops. I think one of our last shows as True to Form was at Colorado College. I know I did that for a while. So I was doing workshops in the summer and then doing studios during the week. And then I think I was starting to frequent jams again because Rockers Rumble, that was actually when I think I was really starting to train hard with street styles. Yeah. And then A-Rock and it would be the motivator. Yeah. Props to A-Rock. I was watching the other cast. I was like, I was about to ready to say, yeah, you're the motivator, man. He'd come in and he'd be like, no, go out.
Yeah.
Show me your stuff.
Yeah.
But that's what makes him amazing, because he was that guy. Yeah, so I was, Rockers Rumble. I think my first battle was with Rich, and we were going against you guys. Well, no, I think it was Dash. Okay. And so I can't remember. I know it was Dash because he was laughing at me. See, I remember stuff, but it's all. I'm just saying it's all love, because it was for me it was kind of it made me relax. because I was like, oh, I'm gonna battle Dash. This guy, he could take me out. Because that's the thing. When I battle you guys, I was always like, oh, this could be bad. I'll make sure I do my best shuffle ever.
Oh my God.
Maybe I'll pull out a 12 step. But no, that's the thing is it's like looking back on it, I was like, there was self-esteem was an issue when I jump in a circle.
Yeah.
And what's funny is I was nervous before this podcast because, but if you lose your nerves, you could be losing it. Like it's healthy to be nervous before you step in a circle or because it shows that you care about what's going to happen next. You know what I mean? And maybe I'm just telling the whole world this because you guys already know this. But it's huge to me now because I kind of walk into that now and just say, I'm nervous and I'm going to build off of that and I'm honest with my students. I'll be like, yeah, I'm impressed to be here because hopefully we're able to come up with something really great and I'm able to teach you a little bit about history and technique and have you love what I love.
That's
you know
dope.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's hard sometimes because we are up against, not to get serious, but street dance and hip hop culture, Black and brown arts, it's up against lots of times, that's actually, like the, with appropriation of the art form and all that stuff that's like sometimes rampant everywhere. It's up to us and whoever's willing to do the work. And we're not always, not all of us are doing the work.
Yeah.
But this is not that case. What? Sorry. We got really serious for a second.
Not serious, bro. It's okay.
It is real. I'm not kidding because like it weighs on me pretty heavy these days, and I'm sure it does everyone in this culture and just in life because, and I know working with Rennie, he's been really instrumental in like telling us stories and then being able to after rehearsal ask questions. What was it like in Philly and, back in the day and those little, important stories that kind of like give a little more timeline to like how the world is much bigger, but I think it's important too to, keep it small too at the same time. Like you guys getting back, doing BreakEFX again, you have a new outlook on what the vision is, probably, right?
Oh yeah, totally.
I've been always curious about asking you that because it's really obvious when I show up to your practices that the vision is much different. And I don't know if it's because we're older or just more experienced or just the fact that we took that break.
I think it's all of it. All of it combined.
Yeah.
Taking the break, the maturity. I think taking the break, and I'm pretty sure you probably get a test for this, is when we take breaks and we start again, we're not starting from scratch, we're starting from experience,
Okay.
So when we do that, when we take those little breaks and we come back and we refresh in the blueprint or whatever, it's just new energy, new focus, and it's just the same recipe, but just better,
Right. Yeah. Because because I've seen the shows.
I've seen the show. Hey, what I'm really interested in is because you've talked a lot, a few times about Rennie and the company. I'm interested on how'd you get involved with Rennie, and when in that your timeline did that happen? Because I feel like after you spent some time there, like when you came in recently, and was it the last year, and worked with us on some house movements and stuff, in our rehearsals. It was to me, it was like a whole new KO who had a lot. Like it seemed like you had learned a lot more, even more than what you already had knew. And I was just like, wow, and you obviously had spent some time with Rennie in that group. And I wasn't around. We weren't around when, that you went through that whole experience. So I'm kind of curious as to when did that happen, and how, and what was that like?
I think it was like 2013, 2014.
Ooh, okay.
And I think he I'm not square on it, but I think he was talking to, I think it was Larry and DeAndre, and he was teaching at CU, and he just kind of had the idea of like, what happened if I did an ensemble here? And then, Larry calls me and says, I think Rennie wants to do an ensemble, and he wants you and DeAndre and myself to be in the company. And then the other dancers were all CU students, because with rehearsing at CU, you had to do this. This is like you could probably, Larry would have a little more details, because Larry was closer to the situation, but I just know, I do remember, Rennie telling Larry to call me and say, get him involved. And then we went to School of Breaking for 3 months and rehearsed some of his drills and movement in house.
Wow.
So I got to get schooled all over again. It was literally like walking into Millennium 2000 audition again, and learning how to count all over again. So, but yeah, it was that. And then we got, and then like 4 months later, he came to town and we had a meeting. We did a week intensive where every day we were there for 3-4 hours, doing movements and technique. And then that's when he said, I think let's try this. Okay, whatever. And then he left, came back, and then we just started working, and we would do 3 hours on Wednesday, and then with technique, and then we do 4 hours at CU with technique and
my calves hurt just thinking about that.
Well, the thing is, he has this thing called the eights, which is, I think, with house movement, where you do, and you'll see Larry does it at CU all the time too, but you do house movements, but you do one movement for 8 counts, and you go in 4 corners, and then you go back. So you end up doing like 16 different or 8 different eights. And then here's the thing, we were required somewhat to learn almost 60 to 70 house rhythms. So we did that twice a week for 2 years. So at the same time learning choreography, which was like a 2-year process. So we didn't perform the show until 2 years after rehearsing the whole piece. So the show was done, and we were running it for a year before we even showed it. Yep.
Dang,
that's what I mean by like changing me. That's why I was able to come in with you guys and be like, I know how to do some house. I still got work to do, because you could ask all of Grassroots, what did KO suck at? And they'd be like, house.
Yeah, I thought you were killing it.
Yeah. No, I am killing it. But the thing is that I took the time to do it outside of even those 8s. So now I teach 8s in my classes lots of times, and then it gives me a chance to still stay on top of it. But like there's a couple of house steps that I still I don't know. I struggle with the loose step. I mean the loose leg still. I'm sure not even Khalif could teach me the loose leg, and he's the one that came up with it. but that's the thing, is it actually was a rediscovery, and of like, oh, I can do this again. And I can't speak for Larry, but we all were kind of like 3 old guys and then some 22-year-olds. So we had this energy where it was the old guys had like, you calm down, relax, enjoy. And the girls would be like killing it and we'd have to keep up.
Yeah.
So it really taught us how to like be on point even at the age of 40.
Wow. I
So
applaud that, sir. I applaud that.
yeah, the thing is, it changed my like if I do True to Form again,
Yeah.
which is kind of in my head right now, and was before the pandemic, was probably might have jumped off.
Yeah.
But the process is going to be more like that, where it's like I want people to train for a few months before you even start choreography, you know, because when it just helped me, because how many times did I be like, we got a month to do Kenny's choreography and I can't do it.
Right.
And then Ray would come in and be like, we're gonna have to go to the back room and practice it like 20 times. And you were always like, yeah, let's do it.
Pressure's on.
You know what I'm talking about, Ray? And I was always nervous because I'd be like, I'm gonna mess something up.
Oh my God.
But like when you have that like longevity, like 6 months just to practice steps.
Yeah, because then you have the same fundamentals, you look the same, you feel, you have the same energy, and you're thinking on the same page, you know?
Yeah.
Instead of like, damn, we just learned the same count last week. I hope we get it together.
Yeah, that didn't happen in grassroots.
Okay.
Because
That's awesome.
by the time we performed, we were off. You know, because that's his way of doing things. I mean, we and then I was able to just focus on my character rather than if I get this step right.
Yeah. Wow, dude.
That's cool.
And how long did you do, and are you still involved with Rennie, or how long has
Well, before the pandemic, me and Larry were because Larry's kind of like the artistic director. So he would, because he's at CU, and then I would help out. And then of course the original, and we just come out, we basically run the work. So he was setting work on the girls, the women, and then the pandemic happened. So it's been kind of on hold.
Yeah.
Because I think their plan was to perform the work at Philadelphia, but the thing is, that got put on hold. But that first ensemble, we did a mini tour, DC and DC and New Jersey, and then we performed the work, the one show up in Aspen, and then we did a section from it at Breaking Convention when it came to Denver, and then we did San Francisco Hip Hop Festival.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a 4.5 year process to get there, at least.
Wow.
I commend Rennie. I really commend Rennie for that process, because it just really changed me as an artist and as a dancer, because I can ease into the movement.
Yeah.
You know, and
build some patience.
What?
Built some patience up.
Yeah, because you be, you know, and he has an interesting process that I clicked with. You just stand in your spots and wait for him to set the work.
Yeah.
And whoever's visiting usually gets talked to later, because you know, you think about it like you're artistically thinking and someone's like, you know, I can think like that would bug me too. But yeah.
Wow, man. I mean, just hearing your story, Kale, you have just been like on the grind, man, with this whole dance thing, with teaching and performing, and you know, you've somehow, like, you have been involved with all of us and everyone in this whole damn scene somehow, some way. You know, you've danced with us or taught, you know, us, and I'm just like blown away, man. I loved hearing your story, man. Like, this is just crazy.
It is weird because it's weird because I really look up to everyone that I've actually had the privilege of spending time with, because you know I pull things from GWT, and all kinds of crews and you know, other dance groups. It's I don't know, because I sometimes I just feel I constantly feel blessed that I'm able to still be able to do it, or at least people still want to like pay attention. I'm sure if I didn't perform with Grassroots, I might be in a different place. I have taken a side note to b-boying since I started getting into house.
House is fun though. I'm not gonna
It
lie.
is, it is. Yeah, it is. But like even like all those 90s hip hop steps, like Rennie taught me how to do the Running Man. And I lived through the 90s.
And they're coming. And all those moves are coming back right now, like through all the social media, like TikTok and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I was recently teaching about that workshop I did. I was like talking about how TikTok does arms all the time and there's no feet. So
Yeah.
I was like drilling them on some of those social hip hop dances.
Yeah.
Get 'em. Get 'em. Oh my God.
Yeah, because it's changed. I think technique is actually kind of in the front now, because it'll take you to that other place. It's not it don't fake the funk anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That shit, y'all.
Yeah. But I'm sure there's still people out there that probably, I don't know, are there?
Mhm.
Or you think
Yeah.
faking the funk? I don't know.
Faking the.
There's
If they are, we have to make sure that they know that there's another way.
yeah, for real. Seriously. Well, damn, KO. Toby, do you have any questions for KO?
Yeah,
Personally?
Toby. Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm
damn questions.
just talking to Epi.
Hit him.
What have you been doing to keep your self healthy mentally, spiritually, physically during this time?
Toby drops the bomb. Okay, I like that. Well, this time, well, I'm an only child, so I'm okay being alone sometimes. I've been I painted. I actually had like a 14-day finish a painting every day during the pandemic. And then since I'm on, and then I joined Instagram, I did all that stuff, and you know, a lot of it is, and then I was able to kind of like do the garage practice again.
Yeah,
I seen some of your videos. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was, yeah, and then I was, you know, teaching Zoom, but a lot of it was the painting, like that kept me afloat, you know.
Yeah.
And spiritually, I've, you know, for the last, you know, 12 13 years, I've made some spiritual changes in my life that actually I just look at things differently. You know, like I'll ask the universe what's up for today, rather than, you know, just wake up and go.
Yeah.
You know, I try to I'll watch motivational videos.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But and then I had a lot of fun bonding with my parents, because I got quarantined with my folks in Loveland.
nice.
Yeah.
So, and I noticed you decided to go fishing.
That's true. Yeah, that's been my own little alone time lately.
Yeah.
Even if no one wants to go, I'll still just go by myself. Like,
Right.
It's kind of my getaway from all this madness right
Mhm.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's like another Instagram post. You got to fish. Did it? It's like a workout.
Well, that's
But yeah,
awesome. man. I'm glad you found things to take care of yourself, you know.
Yeah.
Times right
What
now.
about you, Epi?
I just been I've been blessed that I still am working. And then I just been hanging out with these guys, and honestly, we just been trying to figure out how to, you know, keep the scene
somehow intact with each other, motivated. It's really hard in these times. Like I honestly lose a lot of sleep, like thinking about BreakEFX stuff, just like, what can we do? These podcasts, the jams, and then it's just like the pressure of like wanting to actually throw a live jam right now, and just I just been, I don't know, just doing that stuff. But it's I love the pressure that we're in right now, because it's really going to show all of our true colors, like how much we love this, and how much we want to give back right now to each other.
Yeah.
I just doing this, man, honestly.
Yeah, the plenty of reflection time, and then of course just being able to like kind of open up like man to man and discuss serious topics like your first two, those first two podcasts, just so everyone knows, in the stratosphere, is that the word for it?
Yeah, that word.
The first two, you got to watch those, because those are the two that kind of was the jump off, and that's actually like a definitely a step in the right direction with leading the cause.
Mm-hmm.
Because when that started, things were still smoldering, and they still are, but it feels like everyone's, like, for me, I'm just waiting to vote first. I'm gonna go out and vote.
Yeah,
I'm gonna start with
You haven't registered.
Yeah,
Register to vote.
Yeah, register to vote, y'all, for real.
But yeah, it's wow.
Okay, so with everything going on, I know Toby had asked Adam this. For dancers, like, what advice can you give them to kind of keep moving or going right now with everything going on? Like, I've had this conversation with a lot of dancers, because they've kind of just don't feel motivated or the drive right now. But you being a mentor and even just going, having your time with dance, what advice could you give to some of these kids, and even our own peers, ourselves, just dancing? Like, what would you say to keep, in these times, how do you keep moving and motivated?
I can only speak for me, which could maybe inspire other people, but if you have other interests, I always remember being inspired by B-Boy Why Not, for this conversation he had that I watched on YouTube, where he was talking about how, he's an artist and he's a dancer. And then now I think he's going to school, or he was going to school. And then there was, and then his interest in music, where he had other things, because they kind of ate each other. Like, I was able to, when I'd paint, I'd find myself being excited to dance again.
Mm.
And then, the classic spending time with family and having a chance to reflect and, find and be open to say, maybe I need to do something different when this is all over with.
Yeah.
Which is hard. And be honest with, the feelings that are coming out. Don't hold back. Don't sit in your corner and go, this sucks, I'm not talking to anybody. Yeah. Because there's a lot of people out there that probably don't have that option, but if podcasts are
Podcast.
But I to be honest, I've had my days where I'm just sitting there going, is this ever going to end? What's going to happen in 2 weeks? Where's this going to end up? Where's this going to be?
Yeah.
Am I ever going to be able to, see the students again, or teach or hang out with y'all,
I know. Am I going to ever be able to do a routine where I grab your foot or something and we thread each other? Like, when can I do routines with my friends again?
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, you got to stand in specific spots. Just keep it. Yeah. And battles probably aren't as you could keep your distance. There's no serving in the face. It's too close.
Dude, definitely no touching because you could get a misdemeanor that way.
Cocky
Just kidding.
from 6 feet away.
So stupid. Yeah, no, it's no. I figured this is gonna be over with, but you know, there's a lot of there's obviously other things that are happening that I think we'll be working through after the pandemic.
Yeah, we got a long road ahead of us.
Racism and stuff. Yeah. So
Yeah, we got a long road ahead of us. And then I just hope that the dance and the culture still survives through all this, which I think we're just in an underground point. It's not commercialized, it's not everywhere, it's not accessible. It's really going to be for the people who really love it.
Yeah, and we're obviously still doing it if they do love it.
Hell yeah,
exactly.
we're doing it.
Can't stop, won't stop. Funny story about GWT. Every time they saw me in a cipher, they'd do this. They'd be like,
They would.
mostly Dash.
My friends are assholes.
No, it was mostly Dash. But
I apologize.
don't apologize. I thought it was funny. But you know me, I'll be like, yeah, I know how to pop.
Yeah, fuck.
You guys do too.
You do.
You know what I mean?
God, yeah. I love you, dude. Hey, we've been on for an hour and a half now. I love it.
Sorry.
You have some last minute thoughts? You have anything you want to say?
Are you going to be teaching anywhere? You want?
Hold on. We'll get there. Hold on. Is there anything else you want to say? Do you have anything you want to say to the peoples?
The classic one is, people that I forget name wise and stuff. I'm terribly sorry, but
we all do it.
I keep thinking of I always think about how the hip hop community is definitely run by a village. Because I've had times where I'm like going, yeah, I taught this person, I taught that person, but the truth is they worked with other people, because Chris Martin came to my class and might have learned a chair freeze, which in his case took a day or 2 days. But then he comes to you and everything changes. So that's something that, like there's levels. Like I've always I'm in a different place now, but I've always been kind of like the starter point. Take KO's class, learn your foundation, and then move up to this and that. And it seems like it's something that's followed me, because a lot of people have worked with me. Even Marielle, she came to Motion Underground and probably flipped a switch or something. And it's the same as like with me, with like getting my foundation, my confidence with Millennium and Motion Underground and EOM. Well, EOM's different. EOM was bomb on some level, on a lot of levels, because I was doing some stuff, but that was because of you guys, because it was like, I gotta come with something. But then it moves on, and then full circle comes back to working with Rennie, and I'm like getting re-educated all over again, and then it regenerates a new energy in me. And then mighty props to Jacob Mora, because I actually work with him at Mora Povita, so I get my not lyrical, I do hip hop, but his company also is kind of giving me a lot of different aspects and information.
Yeah.
But no, I just think the community needs to be strong and keep it real, I guess.
Yeah.
Like real to self, but also be willing to learn and understand that there's other ways of looking at things.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like I've had a goal through the years to get by sticking to what I believe in, to seriously get rid of appropriating this art form.
Yeah.
And it's up to all of us. I think that's what
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's not a laughing matter. That's it is for real, but the thing is, but like I think that'll happen if we're just staying true to ourselves. And then the people that are appropriating it will go away. And if they don't, we have to call them out.
Yes, yeah, I like that. What? Damn, Caleb wants to call out.
Sorry. Well, you've had to cut. You got Troy receipts.
Aggressive. Be aggressive.
Well, Troy with the receipts. I mean, that's really what that is.
I really loved what you said though about it takes a village, because just for the Chris Martin, aspect, yeah, he started with you, but he had a lot of other teachers too, not just me, not just you, like
yeah.
you said, it takes a village, like Toby, you had a lot of teachers, that you learned from, it wasn't just
that guy taught me my foundation right there.
Wasn't it one day? It was just one day.
It was a 6 weekend. It was a 6-week course at the Longmont Youth Center where you came through.
We were doing it for 6 weeks. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought it was one day.
Yeah.
But the story was something like your mom came in and says he's like a little younger. Is it okay if he comes through? And I was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah. I wasn't even supposed to be there. No.
And I just had to do balls and shuffles or something, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It takes a village, bro. It takes a village, and you have definitely been a huge part of this village here, spreading a lot of love and knowledge and history to a lot of heads here in the scene. So thank you for doing that, KO. That's the reason why we asked you to be on this podcast, because we know the significance of your history and that you've played a huge role in a lot of people's lives, and thank you for doing that, KO.
Yeah, no, thanks. I still enjoy doing it. It's a little.
I'm still teaching. Come to my class. All right, where are you teaching?
Yeah.
I can say that for days, and people got things to do.
Yeah.
But like I also got I got schooled a lot doing that podcast with Lady Jules, Rocky Mountain Cypher Life.
Yeah, that's dope.
But yeah, doing that and talking to those pioneers and just getting that, it just recreates your interest when you're constantly connecting with different people.
Yeah.
And it's one thing we're talking family, but like what was it when you guys went to New Mexico, or I think or Arizona to battle? It was probably a different energy than it was in Colorado. When you first went out of state, it was different. But you met a lot of different people, and then you grew like a whole new community.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I love everyone. I try to love everyone.
Everybody love everybody.
Everybody love everybody.
But if that doesn't happen, so be it. Whatever.
Man. Well, any last thoughts? Anything you wanna say, KO?
Yeah. Keep everyone keep connecting with this podcast and watching, because the history keeps going and it's gonna keep moving. It's not stopping for anybody. And these two and the BreakEFX crew, they're gonna be rocking it, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're gonna be rocking it. I think our plan is to do a lot of individuals, and then hopefully we can bring everyone in their crews and do something. So maybe we can talk to you about that later on. But yeah, man, the history's just gonna keep flowing. Thank you so much for taking your time out of your day to join us on.
Oh no, that's fine. I'm here every day watching the other podcasts.
This is why we love you, Caleb.
Thank you for the support, Caleb.
I'm enjoying the timeline. I didn't know some of the stuff Adam was talking about. I was like, I didn't know that happened in Street Styles.
it's a learning lesson for all of us. I think. I mean, there was stuff where Scream was talking about his, where I didn't even know, and then I learned a lot through Adams. I learned a lot from you today, and just like the history and what's going on. I'm excited. We got Fiends. I did talk to Fiends. We're gonna get an interview with Fiends.
Oh, cool. Okay.
With Focus from Soul Mechanics. I mean, we got a lot.
Focus is my boy.
Yeah, we got a lot of people coming up. I think I got Al Capone coming up on here too. So we're gonna put this together. We're putting this together, and you play a huge part. And thank you for putting your piece of the puzzle in so that we could complete this later on.
Yeah. Keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Yes. How do you? Is it look at the camera or? Am I looking at someone right now?
I don't know. You're looking at us.
I'm looking at you.
Looking
at me.
I see you looking at me. I can tell at the way that you're feeling me. Really want you to get close to me.
Right. Thank you so much, KO. We appreciate all the time you gave us this Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, man.
Down and vibing out. So amazing. Learned so much more than I
thought I knew.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you again.
Hopefully the podcast, because there are a couple moments in this where it's just us going, oh yeah, remember that one time?
No, and that's why we do. And honestly, that's why we're doing this live, is because I think those moments are special, and those moments are real and raw, and that's what this whole podcast is I don't want to edit nothing. I want it to be real, raw, and when we stray away from the plan, who cares? Like we're having conversation, and that's what this is: conversation, having fun, reminiscing. We're all friends, we're all family, we're all one, and I love that we're learning and reminiscing.
Talk about them good old days.
Good old days.
Back in the day when backspins were the only power move. Yeah, because my power was backspins, swipes, handspin, and tabletops. Or that's it.
Boy, watch out.
That's it. No windmills, no flares, no air tracks.
Baddest backspin ever.
And I always try to do the 90s, but that never worked.
I feel you on that.
Toby, you're fine. You got 90s, right?
He had the reverses.
I got those
reverse. Okay.
I guess so. We lose. I'm telling you, I'm real comfortable top rocking right now. Like going to the ground, that's just starting to hurt.
That's fair. That's fair. You can start doing some house or something.
My house with you.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
No, thank you, KO. Oh, what up? You want to say what up to my boy Dre?
Dre came in.
Hey!
What
everyone from the house.
Knockout KO. K Flow.
Yes, y'all.
We love you, KO. Thank you.
Or as Andre calls me, Seamus.
Seamus. My boy Seamus.
Yeah. Because I'm Irish. Right. Okay.
You didn't know.
Cut that out. All right, man. Thank you.
Oh, it's been fun. We'll let you get along on your day. Let's keep in touch. We'll have another conversation again.
Yes.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, let's hang out again. I love hanging out with you. This was fun.
Do it.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
What do I do with my hands? All right,
KO.
Peace.
Have a good night. Peace, my dude.
All right, take care.
Love you.
That's love.
Peace out, y'all. And we out. That was a good show.
Dream the world was clean. I dreamed that men came together and lived as one. Said war, the color war was mine. But now I wake up blind to see two keep on dreaming.